Hello everyone, welcome to the Journey to Valhalla launch week. The big day we've been waiting for has finally arrived. I'm Thiago, Loot Studios Community Manager, and I'm here to present to you guys this project. The first thing you need to know is that this is the first of 3 episodes. On Wednesday, we're going to release the second video, and on Friday, you'll have the chance to watch the third and final episode. We've been developing this top secret project for 8 months. And today, we're ready to reveal part of what we've been working on. The months we spent on the creative process were exhausting. We had to structure a whole new group of artists, develop a new universe from scratch, but the result is insane, we promise. And to see all of the finalized pieces brings an incredible feeling to us. For those who aren't familiar with Loot, Álvaro Ribeiro, one of the co-founders, worked for many years as a 3D artist at the main companies in the market for premium statues, where the sculptures would reach 30 to 45 centimeters, with the maximum details possible. With this type of work in mind, we looked into the 3D printing miniature market, and we realized there was a demand for realistic and highly detailed minis. That was how and why we created Loot a little over a year ago. Ever since we started, we've made hundreds of miniatures, in a subscription system focused on medieval RPGs, like Dungeons and Dragons. We grew really fast, and we are constantly bettering our product. However, for the first time, we created a whole universe from scratch, and we are about to launch a different project named Journey to Valhalla. The idea was to develop a toolbox for game masters interested in playing Claigard, a universe of Viking Fantasy themes, regardless of the game system they're on. And of course, extremely detailed miniatures with 100% of the concepts being original and realistic, just how you're used to. Pre-supported and ready for 3D printing in resin, in 32 and 75mm scales. This universe is inhabited by 3 tribes, each with unique lore and different visual identities. We also developed Claigard's map, global lore, and for each tribe, the character stat blocks for D&D 5. And today, we present to you the whole continent and the first of the 3 tribes, Froderung, the Ice Tribe.
Claigard is a land of intrigue, conflict, wilderness, and mysteries. The people are divided among 3 major tribes. The Svertig, who are masters of the forested plains of Claigard. The Froderung, who occupy the snowy hills of the land. And the Askalung, who rule the shores, naval commerce, and mariculture. As the forested plains, snowy hills, and shores all share borders, the 3 tribes are in a constant state of alertness, and alliances shift in the power struggle as the perceived dominance of a single nation increases. If one tribe was to be eliminated, balance would cease to be, and a single tribe could dominate the whole of Claigard. Could it be Froderung, the tribe that conquered them all?
So, awesome, right? This is the Froderung tribe, brave warriors shaped by the harsh environment in which they survive. I will now showcase each and every one of the miniatures, their lovely details. And we will begin with the Unholy Runecaster. Inspired by Odin himself, this mystical woman underwent ritualistic blinding and scarring in order to get a glimpse of the knowledge of the runes. Now she wields this power with incomprehensible goals. So, this is the old village crone, and you can see she has the runes details on her clothes here, and she uses this runic magic to cast her spells. You can imagine this one like a D&D hag or something. The second mini is the Giant Slayer, one of the few mortals who saw a giant and lived to see another day as a free individual. And known only by her combat prowess, these experienced combatants are proud of their feats in the battlefield and carry their trophies preserved by the code no matter how large. So, I think this would be a beautiful character mini. You can actually see like she's carrying the giant's head, and you can see where the spike, or I think this is probably a spear, went right into the giant's spine here. So this is a great epic hero mini. The next one is named the Ice Climber. The harsh environment of the snowy mountains requires specialists to gather resources, and these trailblazers lead the expeditions, leaving a path which others of the Froderung tribe can follow somewhat easily. So, this is an ice climber. You can see he's all bundled up. This is like the tip of the spear in an exploration mission for the Froderung tribe. You can see his axe can also work like a pickaxe, and he's been through many adventures. Like you can see here, he has faced his deal of hardships. The next one up is the Halberdier. Despite their aggressive behavior, the Froderung must also defend against great data numbers. So some of them specialize on holding the line. This wielder of polearms and spike tower shields can annihilate his charging foes and strike fear into invading hearts. So yeah, these are the guys that will make the shield wall and hold the line and face cavalry, so the rest of their tribe can either flee to fight another day or strike at the enemy's flanks. This is the Headhunter. Sometimes there's need for subtlety, brutal, bloody subtlety. The Headhunters infiltrate or track his prey like no other, and his hunt always ends with not one clean cut to the neck. Or at least, that's how his tale goes. It's not like there's anybody left to check for wounds. You can see here, like, he announces his presence. So next we have the Berserker and his bear form. On the battlefield, none are more thrilled than the Berserker. When the conflict reaches its climax, his frenzied warriors are inspired by Odin and granted the Berserker Rage, a state of absolute bliss, where there's no pain, no thought, only the will to crush their enemies. Some go so far as to physically transform into their spiritual animal and become hulking bears that claw and bite their enemies into shreds. So I think this is a great mini. You get 2 minis for the price of 1 here. You have both the Berserker in like his barbarian humanoid form and in the bear form. You can see here that his clothes, some of his clothes remains the same when he transforms. The base actually has the axe that he drops when the transformation occurs. So I think this is a great mini. This would be a great barbarian as well. This is the Half Giant. This nearly supernatural man is so large that no regular gear fits him, and he makes do with what he plunders, wielding multiple weapons and shields and improvised armor. While an easy target for archers, the Half-Giant shines when fighting infantrymen. So, this is less of a fighter and more of a siege weapon, and you can see he's truly enormous. I'm gonna bring another couple of minis here so you can compare the sizes, and he's huge. And you can see he's wearing makeshift armor, like I said, and multiple shields, and like there are no big and tall clothes shops in Claigard, okay? And this is the Half-Giantess, also known as the Battering Ram. This Half-Giantess throws caution to the wind and obliterates whatever lies on her path with an oversized two-handed axe, be it enemies, gates, or as the bone blade on her axe indicates, melons. So, she is smaller than the Half-Giant. The Half-Giant has more giant blood. The Half-Giantess has more humanoid blood. and I believe this would be a great mini for a female Goliath in D&D. And speaking of mammoths, this is the Mammoth Rider. Not all mammoths are for killing or for food. Some beastmasters tame these wild creatures, which are spectacularly useful for the Froderung. They can be used for mammoth milk and cheeses, mammoth wool for clothing, and also as mighty cavalry in mobile strikes. So this is the 32mm version of the Mammoth Rider. I'm gonna show you now the 75mm version, and I think this would make a great display piece. This is a chunky boy. Look at how big he is. These things are extremely powerful, okay? And this is the War Drummer, responsible for keeping morale through the winter months and striking fear into enemies' hearts with their resounding drums. This bard uses instruments enhanced by the power of runes, making the trance he induces supernaturally powerful. So this is a bard. This is a pretty kick-ass bard. And if you see the mallet he uses to bang on his drum, actually has a human skull. So this is not a bard you want to mess around with. And we couldn't miss the opportunity to create some beautiful objects to bring this tribe to life. So here you have everything you need to create your own ice tribe, including a yurt, their banners, which were probably created by the headhunter, and everything else you need in everyday life. Now, last but not least, let me talk about Boreas, Froderung's tribe icebreaker ship. As a means of securing the favor of the winds while sailing, the Froderung named their vessel after Boreas, the North Wind. This reinforced ship's hull is shaped in a way to break the superficial ice that forms during the coldest months, and so the Froderung always have the option to strike out and explore, if they so choose. So you can actually place up to 10 32mm figures inside the Boreas ice ship. So you can take your whole tribe in a journey to Valhalla. And that is Froderung, the Ice Tribe. I really hope you liked it. 10 unique characters with 7 objects and an insane ship that comports up to 10 miniatures. And do you know what the craziest part is? This is just one part of the journey to Valhalla. On August 11th, next Wednesday, we'll have the second video that will introduce you to the second tribe. If you are not subscribed to our email list, please click the link below to subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, click below to join our Discord server. We are sharing a lot of info, and if you are subscribed, you'll be the first to know. And before I finish, I just want to ask you one favor. Please comment below your thoughts or leave a question. We will read every single comment and answer all the questions. It is really important to us to understand what you are thinking about with this new project. So, this is it. See you next Wednesday.